Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will discuss about the working of PN junction diode with forward bias and reverse bias. In last video, we discussed about the working of PN junction diode without biasing. In this video, we will see the working of this PN junction diode with biasing. So first thing, forward bias and reverse bias. First thing we should know about what is meant by biasing. So biasing is nothing but applying some external voltage to the junction, then it is called biasing. So in this PN junction diode working, there are two types of biasings. First one is biasing PN junction diode and second thing reverse bias PN junction diode. First we see the PN junction diode with forward bias. See, forward bias is nothing but applying voltage to the junction with the same polarities. Means we have p type as the positive polarities. In n type we have electrons, that's why it has a negative charge. Means we are applying biasing like for the p type we have to apply to the positive terminal of the battery, or we can call it as anode. And coming to n type has negative charge like electrons. So n type is given to the negative terminal of the battery, or we can call it as cathode. So this type of biasing is called forward bias. So here I mentioned the two definitions for the PN junction with the forward bias. So the voltage is applied to PN junction with the positive terminal to the p type and negative terminal to the n side. So that is called forward bias, and we can say that it's another way, that is if the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the p side or anode and negative terminal of the battery is connected to the n type or cathode, then the PN junction is called forward bias. After applying the forward bias to the PN junction, here should notice that we should notice that one thing, that is here holes are positive and that is given to the positive terminal, and electrons are negative and that is given to the negative terminal. See, both are same polarities. That's why when these electrons are moved towards the battery, again they will come back towards the junction. Why? Because of the repulsion force. So by this repulsion force, they will again come back towards the junction, both electrons and holes. That's why the width of the depletion region will be disappeared. Why? Because all the electrons and holes are coming towards the junction. That's why this barrier potential will be decreased. So in last video what I told, these barrier potential which act as an insulator. Here by applying these power bias, the barrier potential will be disappear. So by disappearing these barrier potential, the current flow will be occurs. So the flow of current will be done in the forward bias. The disappearing this barrier potential, the junction which offers the zero resistance. So we already know if the resistance is less, then the flow of current will be high. So by offering zero resistance in the forward bias, the the flow of current will be done. So this forward bias which act as a closed. So now we will see how it will work. Means, see here I am giving, this is the p type and this is the n type. Now I am giving forward bias to this PN junction diode. So p type I am giving the positive terminal, and coming to n type I am giving the negative terminal of the battery. So this formation is called forward bias. When forward biasing applied to the junction, this n type will come towards the battery and again it will go back to the junction. Why? Because these two has the same polarity. I already told you, that's why it will again come back to that junction, and this barrier potential will be disappeared. So this barrier potential will be disappears. So when the barrier potential is disappears, they will cross each other. Means positive and negative immobile ions are crossing each other, then the flow of current will be done. So and it offers zero resistance. So I already told, if the zero resistance offers means the flow of current will be high. So if we increase the external voltage, then the barrier potential will be decreases. So by increasing the voltage, the current will also increases in forward bias. This will act as a closed switch. And now we will discuss about the reverse bias PN junction diode. Reverse bias is nothing but we have to give the opposite polarities. Means p type we have to give to the negative terminal of the battery or cathode. Of coming to n type is given to the positive terminal or anode. That is called reverse bias. In reverse bias, we are connecting them in the opposite polarities. So we know opposite polarities are attracted to each other. That's why all the from the n-type electrons and from the p-type holes all are moved towards the battery. That's why the barrier potential will be increases. So if the barrier potential increases, it acts as an insulator, right? That's why in the reverse bias, the flow of current is zero. Means it offers the infinite resistance. So there is a large amount of resistance. That's why there is no flow of current in the reverse bias PN junction diode. So this reverse bias PN junction diode which act as a open switch. Why? Because there is no flow of current in the reverse bias PN junction diode. So the width of the depletion region increases and there is a height of the barrier potential also increases. When the barrier potential is increases, so it will act as a insulator. That's why there is no flow of current in the reverse bias junction. Here we have to note out main things is in forward bias it acts as a closed switch. Coming to reverse bias, in reverse bias it acts as a open switch. In forward bias the flow of current will be done. In reverse bias there is no flow of current. So here I will show the reverse bias PN junction diode. You get some more clarity. So here there is a P type and N type. What I told, we have to give the opposite polarities. That's why P type is given to the negative or cathode. Coming to N type is given to the positive terminal of cathode. That's why this junction will act as a reverse bias. So all the majority charge carriers are coming towards the battery and there is a lots of barrier potential. So this all is called the barrier potential. There is large amount of barrier potential in the reverse bias. That's why if the barrier potential is high, it will act as a insulator and there is no flow of current. Why? Because all the electrons or holes are attached towards the battery. So it will leave the immobile ions. That's why it offers infinite resistance. So by offering the infinite resistance, there is no flow of current in the reverse bias PN junction diode. So I hope you understand the concept, guys. In next video we discuss some other topic. So this concept is very important to your external examinations also. So thank you for watching and keep supporting. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.